Good evening and welcome to the meeting of the Memorial Centre Committee. Today is the 24th of November, 7 o'clock, and we are at the Memorial Centre. I shall take the agenda as it's written, and can we take any apologies for absence, please?
Yes, Councillor George Everton, Chair.
Can I have a proposal to accept?
Yes, I propose to accept.
Councillor Pert, can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Hollyoake, all those in favour? Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Item 2, to agree and sign the minutes of the Memorial Centre Committee meeting held on the 29th of September 2025, which is Appendix 1. Do we have any questions or queries?
Motion to accept.
Thank you, Councillor Harris.
No, I had a question.
That's okay.
Just about the business plan, which
Mhm.
I thought was a draft business plan at the last meeting. Am I mistaken on that?
Until it was agreed, it was a draft, yes.
It was agreed as a draft.
No, until it was agreed at the meeting.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
it was a draft when it was in front of you, but once you agreed it, it's no longer a
Oh,
draft.
right, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions or queries before I request a seconder? No? Do we have a seconder for proposal we accept them? Thank you, Councillor Phillips. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Sign this, please, then, Chair. Right, thank you.
All pages across the back page.
Just initial each page and sign the back page, please. Thank you.
Number 3, to receive declarations of interest and to consider any request for dispensation in accordance with the Code of Conduct.
Motion to accept. I don't know whether you've got any yet.
Do you have to do anything?
No, we'll move on to the next one. Thank you. Public participation. Can we have it noted there's no member of the public's in attendance, please?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Number 5, update from the MMC manager, Appendix 2. Would you like me to hand over to you first, James?
Happy to just provide a very brief overview of it all. As you can see, heading up towards Christmas is our peak time. Lots of things going on, which is especially the light switch on Sunday, which will be doing the fireworks again, which have been provided again very kindly by the parish. And we've got as many stalls as we've ever had. It feels in a fairly good place, and hopefully that'll be a really good day. Pantomime thing starting quite soon afterwards, but we've got lots of other things like Wonderful Life radio play, lots of other things happening, so it's very festive in here coming up. Just mentioned about something I wanted to mention just to add today about projector and lights, about the projector that's just been installed. We mentioned the community cinema, and lo and behold today I got a lovely email from someone, I'd really like to start a cinema club, so that was going to be after Christmas, so that's already looking like we've got someone who's really keen to do that, so that'd be great. Big in terms of sales and stuff like that, we've been pretty good this time of year. I was finding fairly solid and good sales. We had Oasis that did really, really, really well. And George had a nice night. So Councillor Overton as he last time we were here. And just as you can see, there's a fair bit of sickness and absence leave at the moment. We are doing everything we can to manage that. And venue security, we had a bit of a week or two from some of the youth, so I'm sure it's probably been picked up on everyone's radar. A lot of thanks to everyone who helped and supporting that. We haven't seen them since they've had their ABCs, which is good. Apart from one who did turn up on Friday, who I think was one of the young people who was given a warning rather than an ABC, and he was very apologetic. And I just went, look, he goes, "Oh no, I'm really sorry. It's just raining. It's raining." Okay, so they seem touch wood. That's better. We are looking at a couple of options. We've just been looking at quotes from magnet locks at the back, debating mosquito alarms, and we've just got a couple of quotes for reinforcing around the back as well. I would say it was more nuisance rather than physical, but I have heard that they're doing stuff like kicking doors down as well. So I wouldn't want anyone on the team to be by themselves. And I can imagine, on the Monday night I had to come in and there was about 8 or 9 of them sat outside, and it is quite intimidating. I was by myself. So, hopefully we can. They've got a 12-month ban. They had a 6-month ban last time. They stayed away for 6 months, almost exactly to 6 months, and then they came back straight afterwards. So 12 months, hopefully we don't see any more.
They're growing up for 12 months and they're gone.
Well, the worry is, Paul, that they've grown up. I've seen them since they were 12, and they've become a bit more annoying. And one of them was holding a sharp object, which was plastic, one of the times.
Doesn't matter, does it?
No, and I think it was the intention of what he was trying to pretend it was. Again, he was probably being silly, but hopefully we don't go any further that way. But we'll work with Shaheen as well, and add these little bits and bobs. I think that's probably an overview.
Thank you. Councillor Elliott.
Just going back to the ASB concerns and
Yeah.
staff knowing what to do, have we got a set out protocol that everyone follows?
We have, yeah. We also have panic alarms as well.
Yeah.
We adapt them slightly because actually on this instance, what we were told from 111, he then pushed me to 999, told me to just ring 999, so there was a bit of a clear process. If they do turn up again, and if they turn up again, it's 999 straight away. I mean, we told them we had a sharp object and we called 999 and no one turned up. So yeah, it kind of is, they just said just go straight to 999 straight away.
Yeah.
But we're not doing lone working in a minute, so we're trying to limit all those sort of things as best we can.
Thank you. Can I ask, so now the business plan has been approved by this committee, will it be going on the MMC website and the Parish Council website?
Yes, it will. Well, we will, certainly, yeah.
We discussed about ours, didn't we?
Yes,
and whether it was something was to go on ours or whether it's the parish. That was a conversation we had last week.
It would probably be on the council's website. Given that the MMC website is largely promotional, rather than based on council policy. I sent out a copy of it today to all members. Just got round to checking it for a few spelling mistakes and things like that, and we just edited a few bits out and tidied it up. So we'll put it on the website probably tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay, thank you. And then the other point was the accessibility.
Yes.
After a certain time. Just wanted to get that minuted that we've had a conversation about the main entrance and is something you're going to review and
absolutely
look at a solution for. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect, thank you. Any other questions for James at all?
Can you say what the issue is? Sorry, it's easy to say, just for the minutes.
Yeah, so I've had a message from a member of the public that after a certain time of the evening, the main push here disabled button is disabled and you have to use the intercom. Due to the size of the access between the wall and the metal bar, it's not accessible for all. And so when I've spoken to James about it, it was something that hadn't been highlighted previously, but now has. He will look at alternative options to make sure the centre is accessible for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you for your report, James. We'll move on to number 6, to consider the finance reports to end of August 2025, which is Appendix 3. Do we have any questions or queries relating to this? Or would you like me to hand over to you, Ross, to go through?
I'll hand over to James to start with anyway. We can do questions and anything else between us. This actually goes up to November, by the way, the 17th of November, just to say that, yeah. Sorry?
The agenda says August.
Yeah, well, the reports actually go beyond that, that's all I'm saying, yes.
It's kind of, I'm fairly pleased with where everything is. There's probably one thing that may jump out at people. There's a bit of a gap between the cafe income and expenditure, and now that also sort of things can happen a lot. I think with Sandra, who's doing a great job, our new finance officer, she was a bit behind in terms of getting the payments. So up to date now, income and expenditure is practically balanced for the cafe, which is which is good. We are going into the busiest season. I've noticed, as I think I explained in some of the business plan, this part of the year is probably one of our busiest, so the income is usually a bit higher. Everything else seems to be on target for where we want to be for the end of the year. As I did put in the report, there's the odd bit of maintenance, and it's just popped up as it does. We're 8 years old now, 9 years old, getting used a lot. So I would anticipate those, however, being able to be paid for within budgets, existing budgets, such as fixes, fittings, repairs, etc., etc. So yeah, on the whole, I'm pretty happy with where it all is. And the one thing maybe worth pointing out to everybody, just in case you haven't seen it, because it always sticks out at me and I always have a small bit of panic, is there would be a line which says fixtures and fittings, which it will be, let me sorry, I just need to find it. I always just think it's worth mentioning. It's the first page 3, sorry, which is actually the first page. If you notice, it will say actual net of £9,314, so it looks like we spent a lot of money in that, but that's actually money that's been moved from the reserves to pay for the projector, for lights, etc. That was agreed by members at previous meetings. So it's just about the bottom 2, 3, 0, 5. So just in case you look at it and go, oh my goodness, that looks like there's a lot of spending that, that's why it's that high.
Thank you. Any questions at all? Yes, Councillor Hollyoak.
I think it's been mentioned on a number of occasions about the support from the parish council to the wage bill, if you like, or just to the centre as a whole. Is there a plan for that to reduce over time? Because I couldn't see that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we've now appointed an admin for here, rather than having to offset workload from the office to here. Is that correct?
We have, yes.
Yes.
There is also obviously some work still done by us, but the day-to-day dealing with transactions, i.e. payments and receipts, is dealt with now here. Is that what you were asking?
No, not really. It's the 160,000.
Yes, that's right. No.
With the plan to reduce that
yes.
as years go on. There's obviously threats to that where if we're trying to cover sickness, etc., that's not actually going to be achieved. Do we need to draw up some kind of risk plan for things like that and for repairs, etc., for the building as it gets older?
Those things are incorporated in the business plan as they were in the previous business plan. So the 160,000 is now, we think, stable over the next 5 years at that figure. So it's not planned. There's no intention in the plan to see that reducing. It's about reaching a sustainable level, I think, having reduced it by 50,000 in 4 years. So we've created a number of things. One, a sinking fund, which will build up over time. We can contribute, whatever we're able to, but we're aiming at least 5,000 a year. So that will be for replacement of things, for major repairs, things like lifts, the retractable seating and so on, which will be large, expensive items, and they will wear out one day, and we would have some funds set aside to at least contribute, if not pay for that in total, rather than it being a sudden drain on council or MMC finances. Secondly, there are, as James has just said, maintenance budgets and contracts for servicing, which to some extent is maintenance as well, in the budget lines, which deal with small maintenance items like broken things and things that need replacing that are smaller around. I don't know, the budgets go up to about, so there's several £1,000s anyway per annum at least, and we managed to keep things within those. Then we have, over the last 3 years, set aside money to create an earmarked reserve for the MMC, which to deal with unexpected expenditure. So whilst we are, and that's one of the reasons why we wouldn't be suggesting that we try to reduce the council contribution any further, because we do need to build up some reserves that are linked to the MMC. So the council reserves are separate and aren't drawn on in case something goes wrong, like the door breaks or that are not insurable risks, but are just wear and tear. And so setting up those funds we see as a priority. Once they're established, we can revisit, I think, some of the other assumptions around ongoing expenditure. One of the things that was clear, James and I have discussed it a lot, and is that there is a limit, and we think we're nearly at that with the current pricing as to what income the centre can generate, purely because of the capacity. You can only get so many people in, there are only so many nights a year, and we are pretty selling out most things at capacity, so not always, and we have got price increases built in every year, which kind of follow the market for what people are expecting to pay and we predict will pay. So there are increases in income, which on the whole track our predicted increases in expenditure, like utility costs, staffing costs going up. So it creates a sort of income matching expenditure, which is what we've tried to do. So a lot of the lines in the business plan around expenditure are based on no increase, because we're going to try and hold things at the level which they are over, which is no inflation increase either, simply by good management and retendering contracts and things like that, so we get the best prices. So it makes sense.
Can I just ask on the back of that, my understanding of the business plan 4.2 that's been approved,
Right.
this section here that says ensuring stability in NPC contributions of 160k per annum plus or minus 10% over the 5-year period. What does that mean?
Well, we haven't got a crystal ball, unfortunately, so we've got to have some margin where things might change.
Yeah.
So inflation might go up, things might happen. If you look at the figures, I don't have them in front of me, but at the end there's a spreadsheet, and it shows it going up and down slightly within the 160. It goes, I think it comes down to 151 in 1 year. But we have to be really quite honest about this. It's not an exact science. This is a prediction based on all sorts of things, all the assumptions around costs staying the same, income staying the same. So, for instance, if suddenly people stop buying tickets, or bought fewer tickets, shall we say, then the income went down. So there's a margin either side, I think, to allow for the fact that things change. And we cannot predict it 100%. So it would be wrong, I think, of us to say to you as councillors that these are absolutely fixed in stone. They're not. They are our best estimate over the next 5 years, plus or minus 10%. Let's hope. And I think that's, pretty good, given our track record. Yeah. Given what we've done, based on what we've learned since we reopened after COVID, really.
No, absolutely. Just
Sense.
wanted to get understanding, because the way that I read it was that over the next 5 years you'd be looking to decrease it by contributions. However, I think your explanation has provided me the clarity I needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think actually on that point, it's probably fair to say that this year, in terms of, as alluded to, in terms of staffing, has been pretty hard work in terms of people being off, and none of this it was preventable. It's just bad fortune, and I think actually it was maybe me saying, I don't have. Is that's something rather than struggling on, and is there that sort of backup? And that was where Ross suggested that. So the aim is always to keep doing everything we can to provide the best value for money we possibly can.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty significant. I mean, we looked at. It's very hard to find anything similar to the MMC run by a parish council. But if you look at sort of what Ashby do, the councils that are as big or bigger than Mountsorrel, with facilities, Braunston and so on, they've got libraries, community centres, venues, most of which are older than here and not as good. Then they are putting in, between £100,000 and £300,000 a year from the council to run such facilities. We're fortunate that we've got the library, which we don't put a lot into at the moment because the county council are the landlord and they pay for that. So we're just paying for the staffing, and the county council picking up the overheads as well. So you can see, that sometimes Braunston's got the library inside their council facilities. But if you look at the bill, it's hard to compare, but we're looking at that and thinking, well, actually, what the council is paying to get the Memorial Centre is good value for money compared with things that are similar to it in a broad sense. There isn't a like-for-like comparison that we've found very easily.
Thank you. Any other questions at all? No? I've just got one point to make. When you've broken down casual staffing,
Yeah.
most of the areas, like here, have it broken down, and you've got your normal staffing.
Yeah.
When it comes
Room
to
hire.
the cafe,
Yeah.
you've got it down as one wage rather than breaking it down. So I think we should be consistent with what we're breaking down and where. If you look here,
Cafe
page 2,
wages, yes, yeah.
it's not broken
okay,
down
right,
into the
I'm with
two
you.
areas. And I think we've mentioned it before, haven't we, the casual, that we should be breaking it down so we know what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I think just being
No,
consistent across the pages, if that makes sense. So at least we can work out what's what.
It's broken down it's broken in the larger context, but we need to obviously look at how we can do that on a report. Because we do break it in, and if you looked at it on the screen, but
If you look at it in the
it's clear
budget,
in the
it's
report,
broken down. I'm
yeah.
not quite sure why this isn't showing. It's probably because we haven't asked it to do the
Shall I ask?
detailed. Otherwise, you end up with lots and lots of pages.
No, no,
But
I
we
understand.
can do that. Yeah, I think it's not.
Should we ask Ed?
It's
Do you
not.
want me to ask Ed? Shall
No, we just do it.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
I? Yeah.
Well, we'll have to go doing it first. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. So we'll move on to number 7, which is it is recommended that the press and public be excluded from the meeting during the consideration of the following items of business on the grounds that it involves the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in section 1 and 2 of the Public Bodies Admissions to Meeting Act 1960, specifically concerning confidential information relating to commercially sensitive information. Do I have a proposal that we move into confidential? Thank you, Councillor Hollyoake. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Pert. All those in favour?
Did,
Motion is carried.
did we just note the last item, Chair? Sorry, I might have missed it.
We didn't make any decision on it.
Right.
Do you want me to go back
No,
and
we,
note
well,
the
we just
report?
noted then, yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
not doing
If we can re-step, then I apologise to agenda item number 6. I propose we note the finance report. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Hollyoake. All those in favour to note the report. Motion is
Okay,
carried.
thank you.
Do you need me to read out number 7 again?
No.
Thank you. So, proposal was Councillor Hollyoake and seconder was Councillor Pert. All those in favour to move into confidential? Yeah, motion is carried.
Thank you.